Hi, I'm Tila Arellano. I'm the program supervisor of Culture Connect Inland Intercultural Youth Wellness Initiative, and you're watching Fireside Chat with Culture Connect. And here we're joined by another group of youth interns for this program.
My name is Laura Cortez. I'm the Outreach and Programming Officer.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Lorenzana, and I am the Youth Lead Officer.
And we're joined by Cassie Butcher, a mental health advocate and wellness educator, who we have the pleasure of working here today, and who will be in conversation with and give us her insight. And we're going to be jumping into diet and food and how it impacts mental health. We've learned already so much about self-care, grief. We've learned about being overwhelmed and immigration. Now we're going to be jumping into how food is more than just fuel. It's culture. It's comfort, and sometimes it even challenges your thoughts and how it can make you feel like in a better place, in a safe place. And it's crazy how food can definitely impact you and can change you, because I know some people struggle with food. A lot of people think that food is just okay, I just need this to sustain myself, but it's bigger than that. So we're going to be jumping into some questions that can help us get more insight on that.
Okay, so what's a food that you grew up eating that brings you comfort?
Ooh, that's a great question. Okay, so I think I mentioned that my brother-in-law came into my life when I was 7, and he was in for about 20 years before he passed away. And so I grew up in Pomona in Moreno Valley, and my brother-in-law is Hispanic, and so his siblings were the same age as me. So like him being the oldest sibling, my sister being the oldest sibling, they would have to babysit. And so we'd be at his house half the time, and we'd be at my house half the time. So for me, that was like my introduction to Mexican food when I'm like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I have always been like my go-to food has been pozole.
Oh
my god. It's kind of basic, but it's like pozole, ceviche, albóndigas. Oh my gosh. I forgot what it's called when you have like the little bread and you put like butter and sugar on it and you put it on the stove a little bit. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called. But all of those things are like so good to me. Like even down to my enchiladas, I'm like, okay, like this. How you making these? Like I'm really picky about my frijoles. Oh my gosh, like I'd be like, I can't eat everybody's beans, but so that there's that, and then obviously there is like my culture's food, soul food. So there's like barbecue, there's the mac and cheese, there's the beans, there's the ribs, there is like the greens. So all of that is comfort food for me. And it's like so funny because I remember being like in middle school and high school. My brother-in-law, he'll always tell me, like, just call my mom. She'll make you food, whatever you want. But my friends, too, they knew that I love Mexican food so much. And they'll be like, my mom's making tamales. Do you want some? I'm like, yes. So they would bring me, like, tamales to school. So I'm like, I can't make it at home. And then, like, when we moved out of Pomona to Moreno Valley, like, there's a little bit of far of a drive and stuff. So, like, they will always bring me that food. So for me, Mexican food and soul food and barbecue, like that brings me comfort. Like that feels like home. That feels like culture for me specifically.
Okay, so next question. How do certain foods affect your mood, energy, or sleep?
Oh my goodness. So obviously for the culture, you eat to feel good. So like I feel like it puts me to sleep. When I'm eating like my culture, a good plate, it's like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep. Like what is it called? Like a food coma? I'm about to take a nap, everything. But it feels good. It's fulfilling. You eat good. You get to laugh. You get to be around your family. You get to go to sleep. So for me, I eat a lot of food that does sometimes put me to sleep. But when I'm on my healthy tip, I'm like meal prepping for the gym and stuff like that. I'm very intentional. Just do like some regular like grilled chicken and rice, just something to get like the calories, the carbs, the protein, the macros in. So for me, certain food, I'm like, I know before I eat it, I'm about to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And then I know I'm like, okay, you know what? Actually, I need the fuel for the day, so like, let me eat something light. I try not to eat too much greasy food because that can definitely have you feeling really sluggish and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the older you get, the less your energy tank is already only so much. So you're trying to be like, all right, let me not make it worse with the food that I'm eating. So I try to be mindful of that as well, for sure.
Okay, so what happens to your brain and body when you're eating a lot of processed and sugary food?
I would say when you're eating a lot of processed and sugary foods, for sure, there is that sluggish feature. And usually during the holidays, you're like, oh, it's fine. I don't have work or anything. But like that consistently, it can impact your energy levels throughout the week when you're not at on break or vacation with your family and stuff. So for me, when it comes to having too much sugar, I feel like it kind of can cloud your judgment because you're tired. You can't really think straight when you're tired. You want to go to sleep. You don't have the energy. You don't have the energy to put into the effort you typically would when you're not feeling sluggish and things of that sort. I think also too, it can cloud your judgment sometimes. Whether you can get unfortunately like diabetes and things of that. I think people sleep on how easily it is for someone to have diabetes even as a young adult. They think like, oh, that's something that you can get older. Like, no, you can get diabetes at any point in the age of your life. But I tell people, like, you can get it in your 20s. Like, you can get it early on. So you want to be mindful of that sugar intake. I feel like I remember when I was a teenager, I would eat hot Cheetos for breakfast. I didn't know about it. I'm like 13. I'm like, it's Saturday. It's like, I'm waking up hot Cheetos.
Like metal challenge.
But it's like understanding, like, sure, it seems harmless now, but like later on, like you can't. There's no way in my 30s I'm eating hot Cheetos for breakfast. Right. It's just not. It's not. Maybe like one. But that's kind of like, I had super poor planning of breakfast, and like, it was like a hot Cheeto bag in my trunk, and I have to drive. All right, cool. That's all I got in the car. Yeah. But like, I'm not intentionally like I was younger, being like, I'll eat these hot Cheetos, I'll eat these carne asada fries for breakfast. Like, it's I gotta be more strategic with my meals now. So I feel like it's very important to know, like, food is medicine. Yeah. So, do you consider hot Cheetos medicine? It's like, no, but when you're eating it, that's what you're doing. You're putting that kind of medicine into your body. So keeping that has also helped me make a lot more healthier choices as I've become an adult, for sure. I'm big on fruit.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it's like, fruit gives me my candy craving or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm like, all right, let me replace this candy with watermelon. Right. It's still sugar. Watermelon's a little bit healthier for you. Do I not eat candy at all? No, because I love Gushers. I don't know if y'all eat Gushers. That's like my favorite candy. So I'm like, I'll have a pack of that every now and then. But like, I try to replace a lot of the sugary things that I want with fruit as well to kind of get that sugar taste, but for it to be so healthy as well.
Next question: How do cultural foods play a role in mental and emotional well-being?
I think when it comes to, we talked about it early in the first segment, is like let's say you are immigrating from somewhere and to somewhere, and they don't know how to make the food that you're used to eating. And then you go somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this tastes exactly how my mom would make it, or this tastes exactly how, like, it brings a sense of like familiarity. Like, it's like tugging on your heart.
It's like that episode of Ratatouille.
Literally. Like that movie Ratatouille, where it's just like, oh my gosh, this feels like home for me. So sometimes food can really bring you back to your center, your memories. It's like, okay, this is where I come from. This is what I'm used to. It brings up so many childhood memories for you. So sometimes food can be healing when you haven't had it in so long. There's some people who are like, oh my gosh, I haven't had this specific food item in so long. Like, I missed it. Because food doesn't just represent food. It literally represents the memories throughout your lifetime. Like, okay, I remember my grandma making this before she passed. I remember my mom always cooking this for me before I like grew up and left that. Like, it brings back, it represents your life, the timeline. Like, it represents so many, like, oh, we used to only make this for this specific holiday when most of the family got together. Like, so there's a lot of like enriched memories and experiences in each bite or each meal, whatever the case may be. So when you can come back to a dish you haven't had in a long time, you're not just coming back to the food, you're coming back to all the memories, you're coming back to all the love that was in that meal being made.
Okay, so do you think diets today are more about your image instead of it being for health?
I think it depends on the person, because I do know some people who are like, no, I want to be my most healthiest self, and so they're like, let me change up the way that I eat and everything. And then there are some people who are like, I just want to post food for aesthetics. Like, essentially, it looks good. Put a nice little audio on top of the reel. And now hundreds of people are coming to your page. So I would say for some people, it is about the aesthetic, because you can get paid for aesthetics.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
100%. And then there are some people who are like, they have those food blogger pages who are like, hey, I'm making, this is dedicated to the culture. If you don't know how to make pozole and you want to learn, here's how you can make it. If you couldn't learn from your family or you don't have access, like, here's how you can make it. And so I think it really depends on the angle. Yeah, it depends on the person.